Chad popped up. How long has it been a thing? Very long. Long how long? Just a couple of months.
In recovered texts, Chad, codenamed Chuckles, had recited the official Saints Pledge. For my fellow Saints, I hereby pledge my life to my brothers, and will do whatever is in my power to help them. If need be, I will die for my fellow Saints, just as they would die for me. This sort of unconditional devotion to the wannabe gang is typical among these delinquent groups. Human beings have innate desires to belong and to be accepted, which drive us to be a part of one or more social groups.
We need to get together and accept each other, do what we're supposed to do. And, that was when we were that long ago. Not as kids just went away. So originally you were gunning boots? Yeah.
Apparently, before the not-so-well-known Peace Saints came to life, a group of young men had previously formed what was known as the Ganja Kings, although they were supposedly no longer active at this time.
We started out with a bunch of us, and we had a setup how it would go. What's the setup? So I think it's like, there'd be us, and there'd be 3 people that were up above the rest. And when you say us, it would be us and the 3 people that are above the rest. Me, Paul, and James were the 3. So is that 1, 2, and 3? Yeah. You're number 1, but you're the OG. It's I started. Right. Yeah. And then after me came Paul, and after Paul came James. So the order would be 1, 2, and 3 then? Yeah. Top, bottom. Yeah. And now, does anybody else have a tattoo like you got there with Saints on it? No, but that's gonna be gone. It's what? It's gonna be gone. Why is that? Because that was nothing but a big mistake.
Chad's ominous hand tattoo, showcasing a cross and skulls, is supposedly part of the gang initiation process, although it's not reported that Carl, James, or Robbie have the same one. This initiation system can be seen among various gangs across the world as a notable indication of one's allegiance to their group. But along with this, new members may be required to undergo a physical beating, such as the one described by Robbie.
I can see it turn into a gang. Oh, yeah. And you were the leader of the gang. You were the OG. Yeah. And some of your guys really got into it, didn't they? They were all really loyal. Right. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's kind of like dogs. I mean, they were like what? Like dogs. You can tell them to do something, they'll do it. But I never did. But that's the point. That's the point of the gang. You're the leader. You got your soldiers or little people below you. And if you tell them to do something, it's just like in the army. They're supposed to do it. Is that right? Gosh, yeah. And Carl was really into that one. Yeah, and James was really into it. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. James is probably the most loyal person we had.
People who have antisocial personality disorder with narcissistic traits have an excessive need for admiration. They'll often seek out people who will worship them to satisfy their grandiose sense of self-importance and preoccupation with power and control. Having these loyal young boys around him means that Chad was likely able to use them however he saw fit, even if it meant committing a crime or harming other people. Along with this, Chad's demeaning reference to the other members as dogs may be yet another indication of possible narcissism. People with antisocial personality disorder don't fully trust anyone in their lives. They're very cynical and often anticipate that others want to do them harm or betray them.
No!
Even those closest to them.
I guess I don't know what you call these guys. Would you guys trust Carl and James to be truthful to you? What? Oh, it's just something. I trust them. They trust them. So, what you mean by they trust them? You mean before all this happened?
No.
You would have trusted them, but now you don't? Yeah.
Because Chad states that he doesn't trust the others as much, this may present the detectives with an additional tool of manipulation they could use against Chad later on. For example, to foster doubt surrounding his trust in Dakota and their relationship.
No. It's so hard to like stay on point and block everything.
Where you're concerned that you don't trust him.
Just the fact that he'd go out and do something and then try to throw me in the middle of it just because he up.
It's not going to go away until the end. And you've had to be feeling pretty bad the last 2 or 3 weeks. You've had to have a load of stress on your shoulders with this whole situation. And do you realize that that's not going to go away until it all comes out? And it will come out because a lot of it already has.
Unbeknownst to Chad, the detectives are in possession of what the young man has been unable to provide, the truth. And as we come to learn, from more than one person, the unthinkable incident that took place on one fateful night is almost too graphic to tell. Before we get to that, though, let's hear from none other than the gang's second in command, Carl.
So James and Robbie were both at your grandpa's house.
Okay.
And what did you tell them, or what did they tell you they wanted to do?
And really say nothing. I'm just like, hey guys, you wanna go do this?
And when you said do this, what did you tell them you meant?
Oh, wanna go kill somebody?
And did you already tell them who that somebody was?
Yeah. Right after I got off from Chad.
And what time do you think that was?
Like I said, around 11 and 12.
Well before Sydney's disappearance, the B-Town Saints were having a usual get-together when Chad allegedly gave Carl a .22 Ruger semi-automatic pistol. What they had in store was evil beyond measure. And participants in the sick and twisted ploy were not limited to just Chad and Carl, as you'll soon see. For now, we're introduced to James, third in command of the gang, and he is audibly shaken. It seems he's making no effort to hide anything.
So James, when you saw your mother, is that when you decided you wanted to go ahead and talk to the police?
Yes. I can't do this for my mom.
We gotta do this. We need to do this.
Okay, James. So you want to talk to us now, right?
Yeah, is there any, I do, but...
He's scary.
You either want to talk to us, or you don't want to talk.
I was gonna shoot her. I wanted to kill Tracy.
How did you know that Carl was going to shoot Tracy?
He told us before we walked in. He said, leave no witnesses.
So you're in the house and you go down and let them in. And what happens next?
Cole points a gun at him. It was wrong. And she asked me what I was doing, and she knew me and Cole both because she was scared. She told her she said her name. And she tried to yell for Tracy. I didn't want Tracy to wake up because if Tracy woke up, we came downstairs and Cole was gonna shoot him.
So what happened? What to stop that from happening?
I jumped over so she'll be quiet and put my arm out, and then Robbie came over and helped me.
Is she on the bed or where?
Yes. She's on the couch thing.
Okay.
I asked her to be quiet. She started walking. I taped her hands up, Cole told me to. And I started taping her mouth when she ripped it and started yelling, Mom. I had to stop her because I didn't want Tracy to die.
It seems odd that James was apparently so concerned about Tracy, an adult he either didn't even know or barely knew, but didn't appear to show much concern for harming Sydney, who was a peer. The little regard he showed for Sydney's life makes it all the more likely that he felt the same toward her mom. As the grisly plan is underway, it seems that Carl is the ringleader in this twisted event.
I was by the door. James went to put some tape in her mouth and she took it off and stood up. And I guess thought it was a joke because she just stood up like normal and didn't act like anything was going on. And then Carl had the gun pointed at her, and that's when she kind of flipped out and James grabbed her and they wrestled to the ground and everything, and Carl walked over towards me and stood by me. She was kind of out wrestling and everything, and Carl told me help him. And I went over and I put her in a chokehold, and she went unconscious.
Nope. Bye.
Carl took
That's
her outside.
unsafe as fuck.
Me and James, I don't remember what was going on or whatever, but started bringing her outside right after we got out the door. She woke up again. And she said put her in it again. James ended up putting her in a chokehold and kept it on her for quite a long time.
What happened then?
He put her in chokehold again and held it for several minutes. And he stopped, checked her pulse, and there wasn't one.
No, you can't counter that.
Okay.
You're not Leroy. You're not Leroy. You can't counter that.
Round 3. Fight.
No. Stop.
Now this is the important part we're talking about. What happened while he was going to get his car?
Tom sat there smoking a cigarette.
So she's unconscious now, right? Or maybe even dead, right? So, how did you guys get her to the car?
Somebody took an arm or a leg and just lifted her up and drug her.
Somebody.
Yeah, so, you know.
I was in this live last week talking about how Plato said the platonic relationship isn't what we call it today. And it was actually a relationship between a man and a young boy. And I was like, I'm going to go look that up. And what I found, there was a hierarchy. The bottom tier was the women. It was strictly for procreation, and we don't really want to be intimate with you. We just need you to have the babies. The second tier was
Get ready for the next battle. Round 1. Fight. Stop.
Ah!
Round 2. Fight.
Fuck. Fuck. No! No!
Final round. Fight.
Fuck. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. I knew it! I knew it! Ah, I knew this nigga would do that. He panicking. That's what you get. I knew you'd fucking do that shit. I knew you would do that shit. I knew it. I saw it coming. I saw it coming. Weird ass nigga. Weird ass nigga. I knew he would do it. I knew he would do it. I knew. I freaking knew he would do that shit. I ain't stupid. You didn't want me to win. You knew like I knew you didn't want me to win. So. Oh yeah.
Round one.
Mess up, and this is your life.
Round two. Fight.
Get blown up. No! No, I'm like panicking.
Great. Round three. Fight.
wasn't enough, but now I can see it wasn't worth my love. Some boys, they are special, irreplaceable. Independent, I'm burning brighter. In the valley, I'm the forest fire. In the rain, I'm the desert rider. In the dark, I'm the midnight rider. Ah, shit. In the valley, I'm the forest fire. In the rain, I'm the desert. Ah! Ow!
Get ready for the next battle.
I just want to say that I hate this generation because of the fact that people like to say it's masculine for women to buy men gifts. It's, a man's job to chase a woman, this and that. Dude, I am so tired of hearing stupid things like that. Like, I even hate happy wife, happy life. It should be happy couple, happy home. And what I mean by that is, like, you can't even buy men gifts, court them, take them out without being masculine, or like, he has to chase me feminine. That's so stupid. Some men are shy. Some men don't approach women. Some men don't want to approach women because of a lot of things that you women do. And God forbid he gets called a weirdo or a pervert. So I get that. So in today's society, I really feel like women should go out of their way to make it known that they like a guy. Because we know how you bitches are so indecisive and you've ruined the dating game. So there's nothing wrong with courting a man, taking him out, buying him gifts, slutting that motherfucker out, sucking him up, as long as he's your man or your boo. I don't believe in promiscuity. Don't be a hoe. But yeah, love that man. Fuck y'all. I just want to say that I hate this generation because of the fact that people like to say it's masculine for women to buy men gifts. It's, a man's job to chase a woman, this and that. Dude, I am so tired of hearing stupid things like that. Like, I even hate happy wife, happy life. It should be happy couple, happy home. And what
What? That hurt.
One of us took one arm, another guy took another arm, somebody took the legs.
So then why were pants down?
Well, I wasn't, I was walking behind them while they were dragging, until we got to the creek. That's how the pants got down.
So you still say that the pants were pulled down because she was being drugged?
Yeah.
And so nobody touched her? You sure?
Not that I know of.
This statement is considered a qualification phrase, which can sometimes be an indicator of deception. It gives the suspect an escape in the event that they later need to retract what they said. The response is rather vague, and leaves open the possibility that someone did assault her.
She woke up halfway down the creek, and so I just walked 2 feet down away, smoked a cigarette.
What do you mean she woke up?
Like, came to.
Okay, so she woke up halfway down the creek. And why did you walk away from that? Because they had sex with her?
No, somebody choked her, so I just walked. I didn't think I went, smoked a cigarette.
So who choked her?
Robbie was at that time.
Choking is commonly a crime
No,
of passion
no.
linked to jealousy and personal rivalry. But it's odd that Carl isn't the one to actually strangle Sydney, given the fact that the two had allegedly engaged in a short-term romance earlier that year. Supposedly, the relationship lasted for only a week, ending over another boy. In the past, Carl had allegedly vowed to take revenge upon all of the women that had scorned him, but no one would have thought he would take it this far.
And did anybody shoot her out there?
No.
Okay, and when choked her this time, did she stay choked? Never woke up again?
No.
And how do you know it was Robbie?
No! Ah!
That was choking her, not James? Because it was dark, wasn't it?
Because I could tell the trench coat from all clothes.
And who had the trench coat on?
James. Just sat up and I'm like, hey guys. Get back to it.
This comment is especially indicative of Carl's total indifference to the fact that this is a human life. And not just any human life, but a girl he knew and even had a brief romance with. Carl's behavior is very typical of individuals with antisocial personality disorder. As he sits there with a slouched posture, practically motionless, it's very evident that he is completely void of any empathy or remorse. When law enforcement recovered Sydney's body on July 25, 2010, she was unrecognizable and needed to be identified. In a meeting with detectives, Sydney's mother was asked if her daughter wore a specific type of necklace with a dangling music charm. Tracy confirmed it was Sydney's, and with the heartbreaking revelation, Tracy came to the terrible realization that her daughter was dead.
10 o'clock that night, you called Chad the next day. Is that right?
Yeah.
No, no,
Why did
no.
you call Chad? What did you tell him?
Just to see what's up.
No.
No! Oh my god, why are you doing
Did you
this?
tell him that mission's accomplished?
Told him job's done.
Told him the job's done. And how do you know what job you had because of the phone call you made ahead of time?
Wanted to kill somebody.
No!
And did you already tell him who that somebody was?
Yeah. Right after I got off from Chad.
So when you called him before you went to Sydney's, you told him what you were going to do. And you wanted to make sure that he had gotten Dakota out of there? Is that right, or
Yeah,
is that the plan?
Yeah, just wanted to make sure Dakota was out the house.
And he understood why Dakota was going to be out of the house. So you and him had talked about this, planning to do this.
Yeah,
To Sydney.
Carl Carl's voice has become weaker and his words are short and prematurely cut off. He sounds defeated, and for good reason, as we'll soon learn.
It was late at night, so it was dark, and them two showed up.
Oh, fuck.
And he was outside on my porch. They said, we need to talk, whatever, and I had Chase stay on my porch and we went around the house and talked about it, said, we're going back tonight, we gotta go, and I told him, I'm not going, I should have been involved, I didn't want to be involved. She was a close friend of mine, and I said I didn't want to be involved.
Robbie's show of remorse is too little, too late. Although the shocking truth behind the gruesome murder has been revealed, there's still much more to the story. The detectives are well aware of the truth, however, and they want Chad to reveal his ultimate role.
You explained it in a way that's going to make it really easy for us and grand jury. You understand that? That you're the number one. Those guys that were more with you dog. So what you're laying out is there's no possible way they would have done this without your permission. There's no possible way they would have done that without you telling them to do it. You just laid that out for us. I said, no, yes, you did.
Chad is remaining unusually calm for someone who's being accused of giving permission for someone else's murder. He may believe that his reaction is in line with an honest person, but in actuality, someone who's being truthful is more likely to have a strong, adamant denial to a false accusation. A truthful individual may even become hostile if their denial is not accepted. On the other hand, someone who's being deceptive is more likely to offer vague denials or use a weak tone of voice, as Chad is doing now.
I have a hard time believing that you would order the murder of your girlfriend's sister. I have a hard time believing that. But you know what? You're making me believe.
The detective is trying to shake Chad's confidence so that he'll slip up and admit to something. Once they can get him to confess to having knowledge of the attack, it will be easier to later prove that he was much more involved. In an exclusive, never-before-seen interview with Dakota's childhood best friend and Chad's ex-girlfriend, Jerrica Coupling, she reveals exactly who Chad really was.
Whatever Chad wanted, Chad got. I do feel, and I do think, he is capable of being that person, to be in charge. He's done it before.
I didn't know anything except what I was being told from your mom. All I know. Let me ask you this. Carl had a 22 Ruger. You've seen it, you've shot it, right? He claims it came from you. No way. How did you get it, Carl? Doesn't have any money. I can't even get around gun. You know, you have been around gun, and you're not supposed to be around gun, so that's not really an excuse. I mean,
As we already know, Chad allegedly supplied the gun to Carl. Eventually lying about it takes away any credibility that he may have previously had, although that might have been slim to none.
don't tell what's going on.
See, if I was in their position and say someone did something, right? Yeah, and they go, that's pretty good.
We've got at least 5 other people telling very important things about what took place. And they're all asking bunches of questions, and they all match up, and they all make sense. It's just not really good in it.
Chad likely feels torn here. If he believes that the others have turned on him as the detective is claiming, he may be worried that he will face a worse punishment for lying, not appearing remorseful, and being seen as uncooperative. However, if it's all a lie and his friends haven't mentioned his involvement, there may not be enough evidence to convict him. Without being able to communicate with them, he's faced with a decision dilemma. Rather than admit to anything, Chad maintains his innocence, but the question is still lingering in the air. Why was Sydney murdered? There's one other person who has yet to give answers, someone unexpected but undoubtedly close to Sydney, though not by choice. Again, we're met with the lively Dakota, who up until this point hasn't been a person of interest. When we pick up, the detective leaves no room for small talk and jumps right into the most critical of information.
Is there a reason Carl, James, and Robbie did not like Sydney?
Robbie, I do believe, never knew Sydney. James, from what I have heard him say, he was getting mad because Sydney was apparently going around spray painting stuff and blaming it on him, Carl. And Carl, him and Sydney dated during spring break, which...
Fisher?
Yeah, which I think would have been the first weekend of April.
As you'll see, the next question that the detective asks will come as a total shock.
Which one of these warrants murder? Spray painting? See? No, let's answer my question. We gotta stay on track here.
Notice how Dakota begins to touch her nose here, possibly indicating that she feels uncomfortable and is trying to soothe her nervous energy.
Why would these three... I dated her for 2 weeks. She accused me of spray painting, and I don't know her at all. Why does that warrant someone being murdered?
I don't know. I think they're dumb, probably. Because honestly, I think Carl threatened Rowley.
Oh no! No!
Issues with Sydney?
No!
Dakota is using a qualification phrase here, possibly to cover herself if it's later revealed that Chad did have an issue with Sydney. The detective has now changed her position, moving closer in proximity to Dakota to assert a pressure-building tactic, specifically promoted in the Reed interrogation technique.
This has got to stop right here and right now, Dakota. Let's switch this around. Sydney is sitting in this chair. And you are the one that your mother just buried. What would you want Sydney to do for you?
No.
As we have previously heard,
We're not
there had been a rift
stepping
between
it.
Dakota and Sydney well before her death, but it was never clear on how tumultuous their relationship was until now.
Dakota did not like her sister. She would always talk about how she did not like Sydney hanging out with us. She hated Sydney bothering us when she had us over. She would always yell at her and tell her to go away and all this other stuff, and I'm just like, dude, relax. Stop being mean to your sister. That's your sister. I got back a hold of her. I was like, dude, what's going on? Where's your sister? Have you heard anything? This and that. She was just so nonchalant and was just like, oh, she probably just ran away again, da-da-da. And I was just like, okay, well, when Sydney died, I went to the funeral service because Tracy talked to me about it. So I showed up, and what bothered me and made me question about everything was the fact that Dakota was acting her normal self. Smiling, bouncing around, just casually talking to everybody like it was no big deal.
What would you want Sydney to do for you? You know what, man? I've got 2 sisters. Growing up in a household, let me talk. Growing up, there's going to be a lot of argument, okay? I argued with my sisters. I still do. We love each other very much. Sydney loved you very much. Don't you think she was scared that night?
Yeah.
You've got to tell us what happened. You know a lot more to this.
Dakota is backed into a corner, both literally and figuratively, and the detective has easily gotten her to break.
I can tell you some things that I heard in and out of.
Okay, what did you hear in and out of, hon?
There was one day, it was me, Chad, Carl, and James on the car. Me and Chad were in the backseat.
What day was this?
Wednesday night?
Okay.
21st.
Okay.
Me and Chad, we were in the backseat. Me and him were talking because the 31st would have been here to go to my dog.
Okay.
So I was talking. I was like, yeah. I was like, do you want to go with me to put flowers on Nikki's grave? Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, sure, I can do that. I'm talking to him and calling the front seat because I don't think Chad has been giving you Chad was having the conversation. I was listening there. And I heard Cole say, what did you do to her? And at first I thought they were talking about someone that James had been with, and I was like,
Ow.
Bits and pieces where you hear me. I heard James say, tied around the only thing of feet, okay? And then I heard Cole say, not good. He said something before that, and he's like, not good. I heard Cole say, what did you do to her? And at first I thought they were talking about someone that James had been with, and I was like, I could only hear bits and pieces. What bits and pieces were you hearing? I heard James say, tied around the only thing of feet, okay? And then I heard Cole say, not good.